Howdy, howdy. So I want to give you a little rundown on those valley mode, mountain mode differences. So the way that I kind of think of it is your hands are on the same level, like if they were connected by a bar and you slide them outward, then the two poi edges make a V, like V for valley, or it kind of looks like a valley. And you could also do this. And so that atom looks pretty similar, but if I slide my hands outward, now it's making a mountain peak, the triangle for a mountain peak, so mountain valley. And this really weird thing happens, and it's the easiest way to kind of experience it for me was keep them in the V, keep your hands about this far apart, and then just kind of maintain your body posture. Try to keep them in the same plane and turn, so they're kind of at an X there, and then you keep turning. The poi will be in reverse, but now they're in mountain mode to me, relative to me, and I keep turning, and then they end up back in valley mode. And so when you just slowly do the turn, you can kind of see what's happening with them. And so if you're maintaining those planes, if I'm spinning forward and it's the valley mode like this, if I maintain these planes and I turn around, then it'll be reverse to me, but it'll also be in mountain mode. So that's what I mean by there's like that correlation. Forward valley correlates with reverse mountain mode, and then reverse valley mode, so just your normal valley mode orientation but spinning them in reverse, you take that and it correlates with a forward mountain mode. And that's why there's like two different atoms, because like a forward, and then for example, maybe this is, you were saying that there's some stuff that doesn't click. Figuring out the mountain valley kind of correlation made a bunch of stuff start making sense for me, because it's very visually difficult to tell the difference between this and this. They look pretty much the same, but if I'm in valley mode, spinning forward, you can cross your arms and the cross point will be on the top. If I just take the one that's on top, I can do a body tracer down my arm, just like the classic body tracer, like the archer weave. You can do that atomically. And you'll see how I can move my head and the plane doesn't really interfere with my body. But if I do mountain mode forward, and I try to cross my hands like that, you can see how the plane of the poi is interrupted by my body constantly. So I can do a round the head tracer in the valley mode, but from an apparently similar atom, if I'm in mountain mode, then that tracer kind of becomes inaccessible to me. We could flip it upside down. This is a little bit weird, but if you're in valley mode, right here, you can bring your hands super close together, and to get the cross point to be on top of my hands, I cross my hands, right? Valley mode. If I'm in mountain mode, to get it, it's already on top. The cross point's already on top of my hands, so I can get it below them by crossing them, like this. And it probably looks pretty similar, because this is the inverse of this. So if I decide to do that, forward valley mode, cross it, I can do that body tracer thing, but it's upside down, right? So I'd have to do the reverse mountain mode, cross my arms, and then now that tracer becomes accessible again. But that's a different move, right? So that's why there's two versions of each move. Is you can figure out a way to do it in either mountain or valley, forward, reverse, however you tend to spin. Personally, I like to spin forward valley and reverse mountain. That's just naturally what fits, so all the moves I figure out tend to be with the cross point on top of my hands instead of this goofy thing, because it's essentially the same move as this. It just, everything's backwards. Cross point is on the top and it goes over, and then the other one, the cross point's on the bottom and it goes like this, I think. I can't remember, I just did the move. But if you're attempting to figure something out and it keeps running into you, or the poi keeps bumping into your body, some for some reason it's not working, you could try inverting the which way you're oriented. And then another thing that's interesting that might help figure out some stuff, this is mind-boggling to me when it first kind of clicked, is if you take this pattern and then I'm going to just keep spinning this pattern. I'm just going to aim it differently, right? So this looks like a forward buzzsaw essentially. But if we take that pattern, and if I was just to push it up above my head and cross my arms, so that's the move that you're kind of rocking and rolling, and you're doing that with the in swing, you can look up at that, and if you look straight up, the pattern will be a split op butterfly thing, and that's just split op butterfly with a pass through the middle, right? I aim that straight up, make sure it's atomic, and then you can do. And so by thinking of it in those different orientations, I suppose you could also, think of it like you're doing a buzzsaw and then scooping it through the middle like that, up above your head. So it's just a wonky, kind of flattened out buzzsaw up above your head. So looking at it from the three different angles kind of helps me figure out some of the more complicated things, because sometimes it's startling how easy it is when you start thinking in opposite direction instead of the, because you can think of it as same direction split time, or you can think of it as a split op. And so sometimes by shifting the way that I think about the pattern, I figure out how it can work with my body a little bit easier, Sometimes it works. So it's worth a shot on things. There was one more thing I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, so the above head pattern that you're working on, I'm excited to see where you go with the behind the head part. But where the valley mountain thing would come in handy with this is you could just practice reverse mountain mode and just do it above your head like that. Both poi will be outside your hands, right? And if you start turning and you keep them there, see how my hands ended up crossed? And now I can go into the move that you like. And then while they're crossed, I could turn it in a way, oh shoot, I hit my sunflower. Turn it a way that will uncross them. And you notice I was looking up because I was thinking of it as a butterfly kind of thing up there, because it seemed easier to me. But kind of understanding that there's a weird point when you're turning like that. It feels crazy, and if you just slowly go through it, I'm sure you'll discover what I'm talking about. So let's do this from forward. Turn so that it's uncrossing. Then it's almost like the I'll aim it like this. One hand's on top, one hand's on the bottom of a split op butterfly, right? So it'll feel like a split up towards the sky, and then now I'm in reverse mountain mode. Now split up towards the sky the other direction, and back to forward valley mode with my arms crossed. So hopefully that kind of gives you some stuff to play with, because one more thing, sorry. If it's crossed, then your cross point, the nexus, is above my hands. And now you can do it so it's below. Well, actually, this is really, it is technically below, but it's real close to the middle. I can also put both poi below my hands. So now the cross point's real far below them. So you can move through those stages. 1, 2, and then cross. 3, and then you've been bringing it up. So you can scoop that through the middle. I think I see where you're going, because when you're doing it, you're kind of getting a tracer thing through there, and that looks really fucking cool. So I hope that was clarifying.